Good evening, Team All In. I'm excited for all of you to be here with us tonight at our team training. Some of you know that I do follow the Wisdom Builder trainings on Fridays, and sometimes, oh my gosh, they're so powerful, especially Alan with what he's doing with his team. And I learned a lot from this session that he did on network marketing. So I thought it'd be just a great session for us to kind of have under our belt. But I also wanted to share with you, Joan and some of us and I did the 100 Conversations with Eric Worre, and I'm having fun with that. I mean, actually, it's interesting how I'm talking to more people and just connecting with more people, building more relationships with people. But I started listening to the audio on how to get someone. Oh, was it 90 Seconds? What's the name of that book, Joan? Sorry, it's on my Audible. And it's kind of interesting. I've been kind of doing some of the things I'm literally on the first chapter, and on how to get somebody to like you in 90 seconds or something like that. How to make people like you in 90 seconds. And it's interesting because some of the things that he's saying we should do, I've been kind of doing it. So I was like, oh, cool. It's like smiling and when you're talking to somebody, looking, oh, sorry, hang on. The book's playing and I shouldn't be playing. And when you're talking to somebody, look at their eyes, right? Look at them and look at them like you're engaged and truly interested in what they have to say. Because you know what it's like when you meet someone and you introduce yourself and they don't really look at you and they kind of look away and, they don't really engage and connect with you. And you don't feel that warm kind of connection with them. And that's something that I've been doing. And I'm finding that that's something that you can practice to get better at, especially looking at somebody in the eye when you're talking to them. So anyways, just a couple of things, couple of tips that I've been really kind of practicing and putting in place while I'm out and about talking, just building friendships and relationships with people. And because it really is about building friendships and building relationships, and whether it leads to Neo Life or not, it doesn't matter. If it does, it was meant to be. If it doesn't, it wasn't meant to be. Okay. Just truly care about people as you're sharing and caring. Okay. But let's start with Alan, and then when we're done his session, we'll have a quick little discussion, and then we'll do like a little maybe 15-20 minute session on connecting with people, whether it be on texting, email. I find texting and Messenger or WhatsApp is always great, just to say hi, how you doing, and things like that. So we'll talk about that after on how we're going to do that and why it's important just to connect with people, especially on social media. People are commenting on your post, or I've been doing that with people from my past, high school. People are kind of following my story. I just say, oh my gosh, it's been so long since we've connected. Great to see you on. Thank you for watching my story. That's all I've been saying, right? And then they come back with something, and then we'll just kind of go back and forth and just how to keep that conversation going, right? So anyways, I was excited about that. So let's get going with Alan and some of the tips that he has to offer with us tonight.
Today, I actually shortened what I have to share. The text or whatever, not the text, but the Facebook post and the Telegram post said something about 10 myths told in network marketing. I've reduced it down to just 7. And I hope, and this will be quick, this will be light, but I think some of these are really important, and nobody's going to walk away from these unless you're taking good notes, remembering all 7. But I think there's probably at least one, if not more, of these 7 that each and every one of us needs to hear, maybe for the first time, and maybe not. Maybe we just need to be reminded of it. So here's my goal for you today, that you walk away from this training with remembering at least one that you need to be reminded of, or that you needed to hear today, and hang on to that and actually do something about it that's going to help move your business forward. All right. So I'm going to read you the 7 myths, and there's more than this, right? People share things all the time that aren't really that accurate. In fact, one of these I've shared multiple times, and I've realized it's not accurate what I've been saying and teaching and sharing. So I'm going to be real, forthright about that here in just a second. But here's the 7, and then we'll go back and we'll just break them down each one. So number 1 myth told in network marketing is if you just don't quit, you will succeed. Like and I've said, this is the one I've said many, many times. There's 100% chance of success in this business if you just don't quit. And that's a myth because it's not the full truth. And I'll explain here in just a second. That's myth number 1. Myth number 2, only do what you love. And some of these myths aren't specific just to network marketing either, like this one. Only do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Myth number 3, you need to know a lot of people and be influential, which they kind of go together, right? Oftentimes. You need to know a lot of people and be influential to really, have success in this business. Myth number 3. Myth number 4 of 7, you need to be outgoing and extroverted and charismatic and high energy, that whole thing, to have success in network marketing. That's myth number 4. Myth number 5, you have to be, this is a myth that some people, especially coming into the industry, or this is a myth that keeps people out of the industry until they can understand the truth, that this is not the truth. But myth is you have to be one of those guys or one of those gals, or to if you're going to be a network marketer. Okay, and I'll explain all these. Number 6, how you do one thing is how you do everything. You heard that before? How you do one thing is how you do everything. I don't think that's true, and I'll explain. Number 7, finally, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Build multiple streams of income. Don't put your eggs in all one basket. Build multiple streams of income. Myth number 7 in network marketing. Okay, so let's go through these 7 very quickly. Number 1, if you just don't quit, you'll succeed. And again, that's what I've said in different words too many times to count. And I've realized I lacked something from that. That's lacking some additional truth to make it fully true. And so what it's lacking is if you just don't quit and you take action and learn from your mistakes, take action and learn from your mistakes, you absolutely and just don't quit, you absolutely will succeed in this business. That I believe with all my heart. But that was the part that was always lacking when I would say it, and maybe when others have said it. The bottom line here is that the takeaway from this point is we must continue, we must keep improving or we won't succeed. And that makes logical sense, doesn't it? Just to hold space with a distributorship or anything for that matter doesn't ensure success. We have to be improving. It can be little by little, teeny little improvements along the way. Failure, learn, improve. Failure, learn, improve. Mistake made, said something wrong, did something wrong, learn, make corrections, keep moving forward, improve. That's how we improve. So with that caveat, yes, everyone will succeed in this business if they don't quit, but we've got to add, if we learn from take action and learn from our mistakes, which means we're going to improve. I hope that helps. Just clarify. And so the takeaway there again, the importance of taking action, learning, improving, and not quitting. And you are guaranteed success. Period. And so that's really exciting. Number 2, only do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. You've heard that said, only do what you love I thought Entrepreneur Roller Coaster was a phenomenal book by Darren Hardy, who also wrote The Compound Effect. But Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, what really stood out to me in that book years ago when I first read it was the point that, entrepreneurs don't love everything about what they do. They're not just going after what they're passionate about. They're not just doing what they love. No, they're not just doing what they love. A famous, music artist making buku bucks probably doesn't love sleeping in hotels and touring on a bus and being on flights and being on the road. They probably would choose to be home, but they endure what the things they don't love to do for being on stage for 2 hours or 1 hour or whatever, right? I mean, as parents, we endure dirty diapers, changing dirty diapers. Who loves that, right? I don't know anyone that loves that, but we do it, and we could even learn to love it because of the bigger picture of raising a healthy, happy adult someday, this child, right? I mean, we get into difficult conversations with the spouse. Who loves that? But it's necessary to have a thriving, healthy marriage. So we can learn to love that because of the bigger mission of a thriving marriage. So in entrepreneurship, it's the same thing. Every aspect. Do I love tracking? No. Do I know anyone that loves tracking? Yeah, they're the minority. There's a lot of things we do we don't love. We don't need to love that. What I love is signing people up. What I love is getting stories of life transformation in their health. What I love is seeing people win and get checks in the mails with commas, or any check in the mail, their first $50 check or $10 check. Like, I love that. And I don't want to deceive myself, so I want to track what I'm doing. I'm just using tracking as an example. There's a lot of things that we may do in network marketing that we don't love. Don't buy into the lie that if I don't love this thing, whatever it is in network marketing, if I don't love it, maybe it's not for me, or maybe I'm just not good at that, or maybe I don't need to worry about that thing in this business any more than we would say, well, I don't love changing dirty diapers. Maybe I just won't change my kid's dirty diaper. I'll just play with them. I'll just do the thing. I'll just read them books. I'll just do the things I enjoy. No, we would never do that. So keep our mindset right that we've got a vision for where we're going in our business and the person that we are wanting to grow into and become. And there's these things that need to be done along the way. And some of them are hard, and some of them aren't fun, and some of them aren't enjoyable. If you think it needs to be, then it's going to be a really hard go. If you embrace the fact that there are things I'm going to do that aren't going to be fun to me, but I can learn to enjoy them, and I can learn to do them with a smile because I'm focused on the prize of what these things are getting me and other people that we're bringing along the journey with us, if that makes sense. Super important perspective. Super important. Because there was a time I thought I needed to just do what I loved. And I realized that's not going to be the most fulfilling and happy story probably anyway. What I need to do is what I'm called to do, what I'm on mission to do, what's my purpose for what I'm doing. And then all the hard to get there is just part of the process. So don't buy into that lie. You have to love everything you do in marriage, in parenting, or anything else. This business specifically is what I'm talking about now today, this morning. So I don't know who needs to hear that, but I'm sure somebody does. I need to be reminded of it all the time. Myth number 3, you need to know a lot of people to be successful, and you got to be influential. I don't have a lot to say about this, but it's not true. Networking with people, building a network, making friends, growing in our influence is a skill. And nobody came into this world in diapers with a network, influence, or those skills. Nobody. It was all learned. Every master was once a disaster. Everyone who has a network used to have no network. Everyone that has influence had no influence at one point in time when they came out of the womb. So it encourages me to go, I mean, Nicole and I, when we started this business, my goal, not that long before that was to spend 30 years as a police officer and retire in the middle of nowhere and fish my life away, not having to ever see people, because I'm like the world's greatest introvert. And by birth, I'm an extrovert by choice now. But naturally, I'm an introvert. I mean, that was my perspective in life. And so I think I had maybe 200 Facebook friends, maybe, when we started this business in 2015. Facebook had been around for 6 years, no Instagram, and definitely wasn't a networker. In fact, I looked at people so wrongly, but I looked at people that were into networking as selfish, self-centered, like I would never be into networking. Like that's crazy. They're just out to see what they can get from other people. It's all about selfish and self-centered, and they just want to see what they can get from others. That's why they're connecting with all these people. And I've realized that it couldn't be further from the truth. The greatest networkers are seeing, how can I serve other people? What can I give other people? How can I enhance somebody else's life? And that now networking and meeting people and making friends becomes fun, because I'm sitting there going, how can I get value to these people? Well, what is it? And maybe I can't, but I'm sure going to try. And maybe it's Neolife, and maybe it's not. Maybe it's something else, and maybe it's nothing. But all that to say, if you've bought into this lie, well, I just don't have a lot of influence, or I don't have a lot of followers, I don't have a lot of Facebook friends, or I don't know a lot of people. Nobody did. Nobody did. So trash that excuse and let's start meeting people. Let's start growing our network. Let's start networking and building a network and making friends online and offline and wherever we go. And I know many of you are so great at this. I'm just saying, some of these are thoughts that it doesn't matter how many friends you have. There's someone with way more. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. You might think 10,000 followers a lot. Someone with 10,000 followers thinks 100,000 a lot. Someone with 100 thinks a million's a lot. Someone with a million thinks they have nothing because other people have 30 million. It's all relative. But just know this, we can just continue to grow. It's not about followers. I'm just saying that's one aspect of influence or network, but we can continue to grow in it. So that's number 3. Don't buy into the lie. You need to know a lot of people or be influential to be successful. We can grow in that, one person, one relationship at a time. Okay. Number 4, you need to be outgoing and extroverted in order to win. Not true. There are more introverts in the world than extroverts. I am living proof you can have some level of success as an introvert, but you do have to make a choice to get past yourself and not be self-centered and selfish, as I would call it, to be more concerned about my own insecurities and feelings and desires than what's best for the other person in front of me. That we have to do. But when you look at our industry, there are more successful network. Hopefully this encourages the introverts on the call. Those of you that are extroverts, you already know you're awesome, and you are awesome, and you just keep being awesome. But for all of us extroverts, I hope this encourages you. Like Nicole and I are in this mastermind with Eric Worre, right? Let me just say this first. I'll finish the first thought. There are more introverts in network marketing having success than there are extroverts. And probably because there's more introverts in the world. Okay, that's probably the reason. So I don't think extroverts should feel inferior in this way. In fact, I think they have an awesome advantage in some ways. There's strengths to both. I could argue both sides. I could tell an extrovert why they have an advantage, and I could tell an introvert why they have an advantage, and both are true. So we need to just, whatever we are, get rid of the excuses, embrace who we are, and be you and roll. Our mastermind with Eric Worre, we told you the average income in there is just under $1 million a person, or per couple, or per single, or whatever, per distributorship. Minimum income is 250 grand to be in the room. And I can tell you there are significantly more introverts that are killing it in this industry than extroverts. So throw that excuse out the window. Not true. Number 4. Number 5 of 7. By the way, introverts, by the way, one last thought on that. We potentially are more relatable. I mean, again, I can go talk to an extrovert and tell them all the positives that they have that I don't. But one positive us introverts have is we're more relatable. I mean, meaning it's kind of easy if an introvert can do it, that's kind of easy to do. Some people have such amazing personalities. Like people like me are like, I could never, ever, ever be like her or him. They're just magnetic. I mean, charisma off the charts. Like, that's not me. So just embrace who you are and roll with it. Number 5, you have to be one of those guys. I had this conversation. It just came up again yesterday with somebody that is looking at our business. It's like, well, I really don't want to be, it's a female, one of those gals. She's like, I really don't want to be like one of those people. I just want to remind us, becoming a professional is a skill. It's a skill. And the first thing, and I told her this, the first thing we need to do is have the mindset. This is what I believe anyway, it's what I do, is have the mindset. And I remind myself of this. The other person, the prospect, has more to gain from getting on these products, and or the prospect has more to gain from starting this business. The upside for their financial future and their purpose and the community they're going to get to be a part of and their health. They have more to gain from saying yes and enrolling than I will ever make an income, whatever percentage of income I'm going to make off of them if they're successful, right? They will win bigger than I will win, period. If they don't do much, they win bigger than I win. If they do a lot, they win way bigger than I win. No matter what the scenario is, they win bigger than I win, which means they have more to lose to say no than I have to lose if they say no. And that's a mindset. It's a mindset that gives me confidence. It's a mindset that gives me posture. It's a mindset that gives me empathy, love, and care that I would give them the best chance to say yes, that I would even give them a chance to say yes, because you got to give them a chance to say yes or no first. And that I would hope they do say yes, because I care about them more than I care about my paycheck. That's the first huge thing, I think, which is a mindset to make sure I'm not one of those guys and that you're not one of those gals or guys. And I hope that's helpful. But like I told her, you don't have to be one of those people. With that mindset, we can just have fun. Like, we're at a place where we're just having fun with this business. We get to meet new people and start conversations with people we've known for years too, but we get to meet new people. We get to start conversations. We get to sincerely compliment. One of my favorite things to do, one of my favorite ways to start a conversation or early in a conversation, find a way to sincerely compliment somebody. We get to make their day. Who compliments people these days? I mean, how often have you just got a genuine compliment from somebody you haven't talked to in a while, or someone you just met, or whatever? We get to build rapport with them and get to learn about their life, their dreams, their ambitions, their hobbies, their family. Isn't that fun? Like, it can learn if you, and it didn't used to sound fun to me at all years ago, but it is fun now. And we do this by asking questions and listening well. And not being a salesperson, quote unquote, right? Like what people imagine to be a salesperson. This is actually being a salesperson, a very good one, because we're asking and we're caring and we're showing concern and we're listening. And then we're going to hear, needs, and we're going to offer a solution. We're not going to be one of those guys. We're going to strengthen relationships in the process. We're going to build stronger bonds with people, even if they're not even interested, even if they say no to the solution. Doesn't matter. We're strengthening relationships if we're doing it this way. And that's fun. It is incredibly fun. I love doing this now and would have never thought I would before. There was one other thought on point 5 of 7 that I wanted to share, and it just eluded me. Maybe it'll come back to me. Number 6, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So you've heard this before. I've heard this many times. And I've met people. I mean, I can tell you there's certain things I'm pretty good at, and there's certain things I'm really bad at. And there's certain things I'm very disciplined in, and there's other things I'm not disciplined in at all, other parts of my life. So I don't think how you do one thing is how you do everything. I've met people that were amazing parents that were horrible with finances. I've met people that were amazing with money that were horrible spouses. I've met successful business people that were terrible with their health. So I don't think how you do one thing is how you do everything. But what I do think is that if we can learn disciplines that we apply to one area of our life, say our health, that we can take those disciplines and those principles and the inner discipline that we learn through that, and we can intentionally choose to apply it to our business or to our whatever area of life we want to apply it to. So I do think that we need to be intentional about every area of our life that is important to us, that we want to keep growing in and improving in. And this business is one of them, or we wouldn't be on this call or watching the replay if you're catching this later. So remember, how you do one thing is not how you do everything. That's a myth, but we can take the principles and disciplines we learn in one area and then apply it to the next area. And we need to be intentional about doing so. The final thing, and there's other myths being told, but the final thing I hear is, don't put all your eggs in one basket, build multiple streams of income. I get why a lot of people say don't put all your eggs in one basket. When you look at other companies in our industry and what's happened and what's happening like pretty rampantly now, it's pretty sad. Companies stealing distributors, promoters, downlines from them when they switch to an affiliate model and just say, yeah, no, go, I'm taking your whole downline from you. Thanks for building our company. I mean, it's sad. I can see why someone would say, hey, I can see why someone would say multiple streams of income. And you know what? I think it's an amazing goal to have multiple streams of income. But the myth comes in when people mean it or take it to say, I need to build multiple businesses at the same time. This topic came up in our mastermind with Eric Worre as well, maybe a couple months ago. And hopefully this encourages you if you've had this thought or thought, well, maybe I should be building another, doing some affiliate thing on the side or, selling another product from another company or whatever. Obviously you can do what you want. But do you know this? Every single one of the people in that mastermind, everyone agreed. This isn't just Alan's opinion. Every one of them was like, one of the number one things you need to succeed in this business is focus. Focus. Whether you're working 30 minutes a day on your business or 3 hours a day on your business, it's focus. It has to be focused because out of sight, out of mind. And that's just the way it is. And it's not just this business. Go try and run a restaurant or any business without focus and see how well it turns out for you. It won't. So the number one thing we need is focus, especially when we're juggling homeschooling and parenting and being a spouse and a 40-hour work week and that, and all the things, right? And then we're trying to work an hour a day on our business or 2 hours a day on our business or whatever it is. Focus is more important than anything else. If focus is number one and everybody agreed in the mastermind, it's like, why would you dilute your focus? Why would you want to dilute your focus? You can take a magnifying glass and move it around on leaves and never ever start a fire. But if you hold it really still and let the sunlight focus in one spot, it'll start a forest fire. Focus is key. So all that to say is, don't buy into that lie or myth, whatever you want to call it, that I need to be doing two things. Name me this. Let me ask you this. If this has ever been a temptation for you, you name me somebody, one person that's crushed in business. And I'm not talking to someone that's like, man, I'm just going to be happy to be earning, a couple $100s a month in this business. Great. Go make a couple $100 a month from your Neolife business and make another $100 a month promoting something else that you love. That's great. You can do that. Probably not a problem. That's not who I'm talking to. I'm talking to somebody that wants commas in their checks at some point and some point in their lifetime, ideally sometime in the next decade, maybe even in the next year. Like that's who I'm talking to. Find me an entrepreneur that crushed, name one that crushed in any industry, not just network marketing, any industry that didn't have a single focus on their business. Amazon, this, home building, whatever it was, that tried to literally build two businesses at once. I don't know that person. Now, what they do is once they have a level of success and they're making money from their focus on their business, the money gets invested into rental properties and stocks and this and that, and maybe even buying other businesses. Like Jerry Brassfield owns winery, owns car dealerships, owns BJ's restaurant chains. He's never worked 1 minute on those businesses. He's never sold a car. He's never given a training to the sales forces at his car dealerships. Why? Because he was focused on one business, took the money, invested in other things, let other people manage those, and get multiple streams of income. That's smart. We have multiple streams of income, but I hire property managers to manage my rentals. I don't want to distract my focus and be juggling all these businesses. Worse yet, promote another network marketing product. Promote another network marketing product and convince yourself that it's just another product. It's not I'm not building another team or another organization and another company. It's another network marketing business. And one of your products here is a network marketing business. And this is another network marketing business. Nobody builds a successful, again, if you want to make $500 a month, maybe, but no one builds a successful multiple thousands of dollars a month of income building two network marketing businesses. They compete with each other because as soon as you sign up someone in another company on another product, they're in that network marketing opportunity systems, getting the emails, seeing the things. And now you got to answer the questions. And now where's your focus gone? Whoop, split. So not to get way off on that, but here's the point. Multiple streams of income, good. One focus on business, good. Not multiple streams of income for multiple businesses that we're building, and certainly not more than one network marketing opportunity, a product. But you can find people doing that, but you won't find them growing and crushing. If you find that person, let me know. They didn't exist in the mastermind. I've never met them. I'm not saying there's not some random person. I mean, maybe someone did it, but it's not the norm. So if we want to stack the deck in our favor, we probably want to do what works. So I hope that's helpful. We're out of time. I'll recap.
A lot of great nuggets. I'll actually just escape here, and then I thought maybe we could have a quick little discussion on one of the ones.
Diapers, whatever it is.
One of your favorites. All right. I love number 2, only do what you love. I mean, I know that was one of the things that, there's a lot of things, not a lot of things, but the one thing I don't love in the business is doing the paperwork. And that's why I decided to go online and connect with an accountant where I can make it easier and simpler. The accounting piece and tracking numbers and receipts and things like that. I don't love it, but I love it when I do my taxes and I don't have to pay as many taxes at the end of the year. So there's certain things that you're going to have to do that you don't love, but it's just how you look at it and how the outcome will be. So anyways, anybody else have a favorite or something that stood out in some of the tips that, I know he had 7 different myths. Anybody? You can unmute yourselves because I muted you guys. No feedback? Come on, guys. Interaction. Don't be afraid.
I'm just going to a spot where I can talk. Just give me a second.
Yeah. I also love the part where if you just don't quit, you'll succeed, right? You say, oh, just don't quit, right? But that's not just right. It's not just that, right? They got to be doing a little bit more than just, oh, if you just don't quit. They got to be actually doing a little bit of something, right? So yeah, so the myths are awesome. I really enjoyed listening to that. Heather.
Yeah, it's sort of picking up on what you said about doing what you love. Some of you know my story about the first thing I realized when I decided to sign up as a promoter was I was going to have to talk to people. And I am a real introvert. I was shy. I did not start conversations. And I bought a cassette tape on how to talk to people anywhere, anytime. And I listened to that over and over and over again in the car. And just like what Alan says, I actually got to enjoy meeting people. I found out how much fun it is to just talk to people and find out what their story is or what they're interested in. You know, it is fun now for me to meet new people and to talk to people. So I really identified with that one. And you just have to say, hey, if I'm going to do this business, there are certain skills you need to do. One of them is talk to people.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And I love the when he's talking about when you're talking, connecting with people, it's not just about getting them, to on board or getting them to sell Neolife or buy Neolife. It's truly having interest in them. And I connected with somebody yesterday. We went for coffee and she came. Anyways, her mom's been using the products for years, and it's so funny how all of a sudden out of the blue she said, Nada, she goes, I've been thinking about you and what you've been doing with this business. And I just really like the energy and the feeling that you give. And you could tell that your company really cares about people. And I just love that. I thought that's how I want to be looked at. Right. And just knowing that that's the feeling I got from her, I was like, yes, I'm there now, because it's so important, when you're having conversations and talking to people, talk to them like you're talking to them, right? And really care about them and where they are in their life. So anyways, I was really, really happy with all the tips that Alan shared tonight. Joni.
So you were talking about energy and the 100 conversations. I love that. I'm just so enjoying it. But the neat thing is that you have the energy and other things are other people are calling me. It's not the people that you're calling, but you're attracting it, so other people are calling me, which is
Yeah.
really it's not strange. It's the law of attraction, right? You
For sure.
people, but yeah, that's how it works, and that's what I find is when I do things, especially if you do something good for someone without any benefit to you, it comes back in some form. It just happens, and it's just such a wonderful. It's the energy, as you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Wen, you can unmute yourself.
I was just had to look back at the number 5 myth that was you need to be one of those guys or one of those girls, because that wasn't the part. Then he said, yeah, you don't want to be like one of those people. But what I really liked what he said was you have to change your mindset. You have to think that, and this is the part I really liked, that they have more to lose if they say no.
Yeah.
And they will gain more when they say yes. So rather than thinking you're being one of those people who's, rawing this and that, you're just trying to get people to win, not lose. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I've had conversations actually this month with people in our team that are doing they're selling other direct selling products, and which is great. There's other stuff that's out there that I will buy if it's something that I need from somebody. But if they're not focused, if they want to build a business, having those 2 businesses or 3, they're not going to succeed and do really well in either one of them. They're just going to have a little bit coming in from both. That really hit home because of some things happening in my team this month. So in our team. So I'm so glad that he hit that, because anyways, it's something that's happening. And I think it's important that we, especially if you're talking to somebody that really wants to build and be successful in one business, I say pick one that you love, that you really feel you're going to grow and be successful. Don't do half, I'm going to say the word, a little bit of both, because you're not going to build that comma in your paycheck, as Alan was saying, right?
Yeah, I agree with that one, Nada, because when I was actually with another network marketing company when we met, and we overlapped doing both of them for about, I'm going to say maybe 4 or 5 years. And yeah, you just can't focus because you're trying to do something with one and then, okay, well, that person I had to call, but oh, was that business or was that this? And you're trying to fit it all in and it just doesn't work. And I just remember my son saying to me, Mom, why aren't you just doing Neolife? Because it's just like you talk about it and it's how you're active and you're doing this and like why are you still doing the other one? You know, like it was just yeah, because I had just kind of that was my first and I had learned a lot from them and stuff. And when I decided to stop the other company, it was just so much better to be able to focus and have fun and knew where my direction and my mindset was. And then I
Yes,
grew more,
yes,
faster.
you did. And I've watched you.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's nice because I mean, you can't pull people away. They have to decide on their own which one they want and they'll know when they, you know, when they're at that point where, you know, which one do I really want to focus and build, right? And the kind of people that you want to surround yourself around, right? So, yeah. Excellent. Thank you. Excellent. So around the 100 conversations, Joan, I know you've been working hard with that. I've been trying really, really hard too. I took a little bit of time to just say hi to a bunch of people on Instagram and just, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop the recording and we're just gonna spend the next 10 minutes on our phones and just reaching out to some people just to say hi, how you doing, connecting, and just starting those conversations where the conversations will continue. Like I talked to somebody today, I saw their son, she posted a picture of her son and graduating and I said, oh, I said, wow, your son has grown so much. It's so nice to see you. And how is he doing? And she goes, oh, he's going to school for HVAC. And I said, oh my gosh, I said, my son Jack did that and he's working for Brian's Fuel. He absolutely loves it. She's like, really? And the conversation's still going. And then I said, yeah, I said, oh, and he even did installed my mom's air conditioner. And she goes, oh, that's what I would love my son to do. So the conversation is still going, right? So start conversations. I'll stop the recording and we'll have a little bit of fun tonight.
The key thing with the training is that pretend you don't have a business and you don't have a product. That you
Right.
have to remember that, and that helps a lot by doing that. Yeah, that's what he wants.
Thank you, Joan. So pretend that you don't have a business and you're not selling a product. You're not trying to sell them anything. You're just trying to get to know them and build a relationship and continue the conversation. All right. Thank you, Joni. I'm glad I didn't stop the recording.